May your mornings always be golden. Cookery in Ireland AM brought to you by Kerrygold.
There you have it. You're very welcome back. It's time for a sweet treat with a bit of a difference.
Yes, there is a difference. Krissy Gibson is here with a from Take the Cake, and it's courgette and chocolate. Krissy, tell us
Why
more.
not?
Yes.
I know. So I picked
Oh,
this
you're going for it. We're going to try it.
just to get your reaction.
Courgette and chocolate cake.
Tastes like chocolate cake now.
Yeah, it's a lovely, moist chocolate cake. Whenever you're baking with fruit or veg, you do end up with a really moist, delicate cake.
Okay.
And, you know, Alan, you thought maybe that'd turn out dense, but it's not. It's light.
No,
and
actually, it looks so dense, but it's not. But, like, then why the courgettes? Because it basically is the chocolate is the dominant feature in it.
Yes.
Is it just that with making it a bit healthier? No.
Well, you know, so in the States we call it zucchini. Here we call it courgette.
Yes. Yeah.
So zucchini bread is very common.
Okay.
Now, chocolate zucchini bread, chocolate courgette bread, in fairness, is not as common. But it's nice to figure out something else to do with your courgette because, you know, you can only do so many things with it. We're starting with 450 grams of caster sugar or granulated sugar. To that, we're adding 3 eggs, okay? And we can add the first 4 ingredients just all together.
Just sugar in that?
Yes, Alan.
Oh, mother of God.
This is really more of a cake than a bread, but you know we're calling it bread.
What's that?
Because we're not putting frosting on it, so technically it's a bread. Here we have vegetable oil. Okay,
wow,
we're going to use 225 grams of this, and then just a teaspoon, which is 5 mils of vanilla extract. Okay,
Would you always have that much oil in a cake?
Well, sure. You'd have a fat of some kind. Yeah.
Butter normally.
There's no butter. Yeah, there's no butter.
A tiny bit of butter, but this one is primarily oil. I find that when you're baking a cake that uses oil or fruit and veg, you are going to end up with a very moist and fluffy cake.
Yeah, it is very moist.
And we do in this. Now, we're going to mix this up. We don't have to be precious about it. This is a very forgiving recipe. And so nothing has to be... you know, exact. We want to mix this up so that it gets a little bit fluffy, okay? Now, once these are combined, those first 4 ingredients, we're going to be adding our chocolate. Now, we're taking 30 grams of butter, and I did this at the ad break so that it could cool off a little bit. We're taking 30 grams of butter, melted, and we're adding that to 50 grams of unsweetened cocoa.
Okay.
You know, cocoa for baking. We're going to combine those 2 first and just let it cool a couple of minutes, all right? We're going to mix this together again. And then at this stage, we add our courgette. So when you pick out your courgettes, you're probably going to end up with, you're probably going to end up using about 2 medium-sized courgettes. And go ahead and use the skins. You're going to find, you might see a few little flecks in your bread there.
Yeah, you can see little bits of them,
You go ahead and use the skins. There's a lot of nutrition in the skins, and it bakes perfectly fine. You're not going to taste it. You're not going to feel it. So you don't have to peel these, okay? You're going to grate that up. We're using 250 grams of it, okay? So grate that up.
So that's 2 courgettes, is it?
Just about, yeah.
You need the nutrition, Tommy, with all that sugar and all that oil. You need a bit of nutrition.
I know.
Why is that? Why?
What is the courgette replacing, or is it not replace it?
Well, that's a fair enough question.
Not a substitute for something else, no?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's Tommy, have you ever had carrot cake before?
Yeah.
And how weird do you think that is?
Well, you see, I find that a bit weird as well.
Do you?
And yeah, carrot cake is lovely, isn't it? So courgette cake.
Yeah. So courgette bread, chocolate courgette bread, they're both fantastic. This one is not as commonly used, but I hope the people will give it a try. So we've got that all blended in. So the next thing we do is we combine our dry ingredients. We're taking 250 grams of self-raising flour, and we're adding a teaspoon each. That's 5 grams each of bread soda, salt, don't skip the salt, and cinnamon.
No.
Cinnamon.
Can't taste the cinnamon
No,
at all
you
now.
can't, but it just gives it that little
Okay.
lift. You know, oftentimes with chocolate, you'll find that either coffee or cinnamon or almond extract, those can really add a nice dimension to the chocolate and just sort of bring out the flavor. So once we've added these, we have a nice color to our flour. We're going to add this in. We can just add it all together. We don't have to do it in stages. And we're going to blend this up. Now, when you blend in your flour, just blend it long enough so that it's mixed. We don't want to over-mix this. Do you know why?
No. Tell us.
We don't want to over-activate the gluten, okay? So when you're adding the flour, always just combine it until it's just combined. If you keep on mixing and keep on mixing, what you'll end up with over-activated gluten is a rubbery cake. It will mess up the texture of your cake. And we want to leave it nice and light and fluffy like yours. So once your flour is mixed in.
When does the chocolate go in then?
Well, we've added a little bit of chocolate. Now we're going to add a little bit more.
All right, yeah.
So I'm just going to give this a scrape. We're going to use 100 grams of chocolate chips. Now, I do recommend getting proper chips instead of breaking up a chocolate bar because they'll melt better in your loaf.
We've about a minute to go here, Krissy.
With our 100 grams of chips, we're going to add just 5 grams of self-raising flour again.
Okay.
Can you guess why I'm doing that?
No, go on, tell us. You're like a teacher here this morning.
This way, all these new tips, this way, these will not all sink to the bottom of your cake.
Oh, so it'll be... Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Move around.
You want them to kind of float around
So
in there.
that goes into... And then it goes into a dish.
2 greased and flour loaf pans, or you can make muffins, okay? We're going to bake that. We're going to bake that at 160 degrees for at least an hour, maybe 70 minutes, okay? We're going to combine this and then just pour it right into the baking pan and give it a bake. We can use the toothpick test when we're done. Just stick it through the center, and if the toothpick comes out clean, you'll know it's done.
It's done.
And it won't sink in the middle. And if you have a bright idea to use extra courgette to make it healthier, don't. Because what'll happen is you'll mess up the water content.
So
and it'll
into a
sink.
self-floured baking pan for an hour, and there it is. The finished product is there at the front of you there. It looks absolutely... And
Tommy,
it tastes delicious.
It is good.
It's
Tommy, what
very
do you
moist,
think?
yeah. You don't even taste the courgettes at all. A
And do you know
zucchini.
something? It's a great way to get it into your kids as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's actually, yeah, it is. It's very
Very
tasty,
nice.
isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
that, Krissy.
Krissy,
Lovely.
thanks so
My
much.
pleasure.
Mirren, what's coming up after 9?
What
Would
do
you
you
like some
make of
cake?
the cake?
I'm sure I'll stuff
What's
it in
in
my
it?
gob, just like yourself. Look at him, still going. The teeth are covered in chocolate.
May your mornings always be golden. Cookery in Ireland AM brought to you by Kerrygold.